Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Garden a Little. It's been a minute since I did a full garden tour. Last video was about me harvesting garlic and it didn't go as I planned, so it was just a huge bummer. However, many things have changed, so I am super excited and stoked to show you all the progress that's been happening. Before I do that, don't forget, I am writing a couple of ebooks just to help you out to start planning your own garden. It's just little tips, little tricks of what you can do. The link is down below. Okay, so let's start out with this bed. This is where I harvested that garlic last time. Ground is pretty rough still. However, this is my popcorn corn. It's supposed to be like gem bluish corn. So I'm seeing the color differentials in the leaves and I am loving it. Look at these striations. That's gorgeous. That's beautiful. So I am super excited about this corn. I do have to fertilize it because garlic is a heavy nitrogen feeder. And so it took a lot of that nitrogen out of the ground and this corn is a little bit struggling. So I need to fertilize this. The best fertilizer that I have ever used is fish emulsion. Fish emulsion is a stinky, stinky mess, but it's so great. And honestly, literally, I don't think you can overdose on fish emulsion. So that's my next step, is to fertilize that bed with the fish emulsion. On to this bed right next to it. Look at these zucchinis, guys. I'm just like blown away. This zucchini leaf right here, this one, I want to say it's about 4 feet tall from the ground. I only have 2 zucchini plants, one here, one there. I've been harvesting so many zucchinis. It's quite ridiculous, actually. Look at this strong, just stem there. I have seen quite a few of those bugs that destroy your squash, and so far so good. I am hopeful that we get a full season of zucchini this year. That would be terrific. Sunflowers, look at the beauty. Ah, amazing. I love it. Like, genuinely so in love with this beauty. I am still not seeing any flowers with this currant. It's either black or red, but it has taken up some good growth, so I am excited about that. Hopefully next year, what I actually want to do is dig it up and plant it actually out here. My only nervous hic about this is that there is nothing that's protecting the bushes that I want to plant here from the deer, and we have plenty of deer that come here. This 2 wires used to be full of electricity, not anymore, but a couple of deer got spooked away from last couple of years, so they stay away even though it doesn't work. It does its job. If we look to this side of the bed, I got a good looking bunch of basil. So healthy, amazing. I got 1 pepper that survived. If you remember, I got some rogue peppers that have just started growing here. I don't know why, but here they are. My quinoa, guys, look. It actually might do something. I am super excited. So some of them are turning yellow, and I think these are actually almost ready to harvest. So if you've ever grown quinoa, please shoot me a comment down below as to far as when can I harvest this. The squash bugs that are generally killing my zucchini have been confused and are putting on their eggs on grass. So what we'll do is we'll actually give this to my chickens. Would you like to try this? Here you go. Yeah, she's not a fan. Anyways, I'm gonna just drop it in there. And then another thing in this bed that I'm trying to grow are these melons. It looks like we got one that's healthy and is going, so I can't wait for it to start actually producing stuff. My strawberry bed is definitely growing greens. I have not seen any strawberries being produced, but I think we are almost there again to that season of strawberries, so I'm super excited. Okay guys, do you remember when I said I'm gonna show you all the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful? Well, here comes the extra ugly because I haven't made time to tie up my tomatoes. They're looking so sad. I know they are, but I am gonna stay true to my word. I'm not gonna tidy it up real quick before I do this tour because I want you to know that sometimes it's hard to keep up with your garden. It's okay. So here's my tomato jungle. I put the posts in, but I never tied up my tomatoes. And so my tomatoes are kind of falling over. I got the tiger blush here, my family's favorite. And most of my volunteers actually ended up being blue bosque bumblebee. There's one. And it would make sense because I actually did not like them as far as flavor goes. However, these might be crossed pollinated, so they might have a different flavor, so I'm still leaving them be. I don't know what's wrong with this tomato. This tomato was basically the same size as this one, and it's just like not growing, so I'm not sure. These look like rainbow cherry tomatoes. This was another volunteer. Then I have another tiger blush here, and then just sporadic mix of everything else. I just really need to tie them up. They are just disaster. Moving on to the pepper bed. I know it's hard to tell what is what, but we got some of those Thai peppers. These two, they're actually, look at them, they're actual real plants, which is so exciting. Then I got my sweet banana peppers. Look, they're producing a ton of new flowers. If you remember, I pinched them off. And look at all of that growth. That's awesome. And then I think, or I hope, that these here are gonna do something. And I really, really hope that these are the purple Buena Mulatas, because that is my family's favorite. Or this one, I honestly am not sure. So I guess we'll see. And yes, a lot of weeding needs to be done. Moving on to the bed, right next to the pepper bed are where the zinnias are. Look at these striations. That is gorgeous. I have been harvesting zinnias, putting them on my dinner table. They look amazing. Look at these beans. So this bean plant just died. I don't know what happened to it, but look at these beans, guys. They are maturing. I'm so, so happy. Except, so this bean was supposed to be like the same variety as, I guess, this bean. And then this bean doesn't have any runners. But this bean, look at these runners. He's literally putting off so many runners. Look at him. Look at that. That's supposed to be a bush bean. And that is definitely acting like a pole bean. So I'm not sure what the heck is happening here, but I'm very excited about these beans. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. And then these are true bush beans. So there they are. Here I have those melons that I took up from that other bed. I have another melon here, and look, spaghetti squash, it's growing. It's actually growing a little squash. That's so exciting. So I'm gonna try to make it climb up. It's just like super fast at grabbing hold, and then I don't want to tear it off, obviously. So it's kind of all clustered here. Switching over to the other side of the trellis, we got my cucumbers. Guys, my cucumbers are finally growing. It's so exciting. I already harvested some, but look, they don't have big spikes. They have very tiny prickles, but they're not that prickly, and so juicy. Very, very juicy. Probably not the best for like pickling and canning because of how much juice they have, but definitely recommend eating fresh. And I have quite a bit more of baby ones. These are my Lima broad beans. So as I said before, lots of flowers, and look, finally lots of beans. I'm so excited. I got this plant. This plant has taken its time. And then I have this plant. This plant maybe produced one or two, like you can kind of see them over there. Not a ton. And then here is the dealio. I was trying to grow this radish, harvest the seeds from it, and guess what? It's working. It's working. I'm so excited. Look, so the radish is still there. It is very hard and woody right now. You do not want to eat it right now. So what happened to the radish? Why is it flowering all of a sudden? Well, that's its natural life cycle. First, it grows underground. It develops that root head. We usually harvest it, eat it. If you don't harvest it, you leave it in there. It shoots all of its energy up into this big stalk, delivers all of the energy into the flowers, and in the flowers then develops pods. Now it looks like these pods are super tiny. So these are the pods that I'm talking about right here. Inside those pods are seeds. And look how many, each flower is a pod. And in each pod, there should be at least 2 to 3 seeds. So look how many seeds I can harvest from one radish. That's why I was growing it out for seeds. Look at my corn bed. I just can't. Look at that. That is ginormous, first of all. Second of all, look at all these ears. They're being developed very nicely. So with the corn, we got the tassel, we got the stalk, and then we have the ears. The tassels are the ones that have the fertilized juice that the ears need. So on each ear, there are little hairs. Each hair is connected to a little kernel. So if each hair gets pollinated from the tassel, then you have a full corn on the cob. If one hair is not pollinated, that hair leads to that corn kernel and it's not going to develop. So that's why they say to plant corn nearby from each other. Now, it's not necessary. You can always harvest the pollen by putting a plastic bag over this and then just sprinkling whatever you get on these hairs. However, it's so much easier when the wind does it for you. I think that these might have been the watermelon seeds that have been growing here. It looks like they're still going. I don't think we're gonna get any watermelons. If I wanted to get any watermelons, they should have been some fruit forming by now. Just by how much more time I have in the season, it's not that much. So it'll probably be just immature fruit, but still pretty cool. Similar story with this melon looking thing that's growing. We have a few flowers, but no fruits. Like we got some baby flowers, but no fruit. So I'm not sure if anything will happen with that, but I'm leaving it be as well. And another very important thing in this bed is this radish. Again, I am leaving it be. I wanted to develop that same stalk that the gold radish developed and flower. And so it is shooting that stalk, except I'm not seeing any flowers yet. So I'm really hoping it's getting enough sun for that exposure so it can form some flowers. That would be great. Moving on to my herb corner, it ended up being super tiny compared to last year. My chives are finally starting to grow. Like I have never harvested the spinach. It's just like super tiny. Parsley is finally harvestable. So is this basil. I think I might start harvesting this basil to try to encourage it to bush out. But honestly, like look how tiny it is. It is just embarrassing. This parsley is doing well. Oregano is a monster, as always, and thyme is a monster. So these two I have been harvesting just very generously, drying them up, storing them, all that good stuff. Now I also have cilantro that sort of grew, but it looks super dead right now. And then all my lettuce bolted, so I really have to cut them down. And then another tomato forest. Again, haven't tied them up, but most of them, by the looks of them, they look like those rainbow cherry tomatoes that have been grown here last season. So I am just leaving them be. This ginormous plant is supposed to be Brussels sprouts. Now I have not trimmed it, nothing, because I've never had success at growing Brussels sprouts. So I'm hoping that because I left it alone, those little things will actually give me some Brussels sprouts. Now, if I get any Brussels sprouts, probably be like 6 or 8. So it's kind of pathetic, but still, I'm waiting for them. I have not harvested my carrots, which is a bad thing. It's not a good thing. You don't want to wait too long. So I really do need to make time for this, or they will develop flowers just like radishes do and go to seed, and I will never get rid of carrots in my garden, which can be a good thing actually. Here is the giant mess. Well, it is actually a purple cauliflower. It is actually developing a head, but it's just nasty, covered with all kinds of poop from all kinds of caterpillars. However, real food does come dirty, so I am leaving it be. Now, there are these kind of eggs. There's all kinds of different eggs all covered here. And you know, honestly, I'm just like letting it be. I'm just gonna let nature take over that because I'm a little sick of constantly defending it and still going to just not doing anything. So let's see what happens. Then this kale, if you remember, I cut this down to literal stubs. And look, it developed a shoot. And the shoot developed flowers. And each flower's developed a pod. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? And in each pod, there's probably like 10, 12 seeds. So look at that. Kale seeds for the rest of my life. Here are a few other Brussels sprout plants. I don't know if they'll do anything. And then my sweet potatoes. Guys, look. My sweet potato is finally vining. I'm so excited. Look at these vines. They are finally starting to grow. Hopefully they go all the way around. Look at this. So the only reason I'm going to do anything about this giant mess is to give this plant more light. Guys, I am having so much fun learning all these lessons, and I don't know, I'm just hopeful that I'm encouraging you to go garden a little, to try it on your own. It can be intimidating, I understand, but that is why I shoot all these videos, and I try not to hide the ugly, the hard work. I try not to hide it. I do my best, I promise you guys. So if you want to see anything in detail, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to encourage you even more to go garden a little, and I'll see you next time. Bye.